So, I've been to Japan, and today I'm going to be bothering you with all the things me and my friends did during our time in Japan. The first thing I have to tell you is about how funny the room that we bought was. You see, the room that we bought wasn't just cheap, it was ridiculously cheap. It was $4 per night, split between 4 people and 2 rooms. Now you may be thinking, what, were you staying in a box? How could it possibly be that cheap? Well, let me show you the room that we paid for. The door was super short. Ow. So me and my one other friend had to duck under the door just to get inside the room. Inside, the room was so thin, you couldn't even do a push-up. Believe me, we both tried. Inside, the room was so small and the bed was so large, it pretty much covered the entirety of the main room. And there was a tiny fridge on the side, but I'm pretty sure it was radioactive. Holy crap! Also, the bathroom was tiny. I mean, my friend who was slightly shorter than me still couldn't fit in. So this place was a bit rough. But hey, we weren't there to stay inside the room. We were there to explore. Also, there was somebody's lingerie at the bottom of the bed and some giant-ass mosquitoes under the mattress. Yeah, okay, so the room may have been less than good or, even halfway decent. But listen, when we searched up the place, the only things that we put into the traveling service app were that it must be less than $10 a night and must be near a 7-Eleven. Which it was. There was a 7-Eleven literally right across the road. It's where we ate breakfast every day and where we ate dessert every day. So, with the nightmare in the room explained, the next part is what we did. You see, my friends, being the very social people that they were, wanted to get into fashion. This meant that we went on a lot of shopping trips just to get some clothes. We tried on some jeans, some shirts, and some t-shirts as well. It was actually pretty nice. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, it's so cheap over there, so it's perfect for some of us. Me. Anyways, thank you Japan for making things so cheap. Also sorry because I didn't buy a lot of clothes. Another day, we went to Akihabara, the place for all things anime. We walked around for a bit, and there we met up with one of my friends who's gone back to study for one of his exams. He was a delight to meet again, for you see, this guy was a fashion icon. He'd walk around with a cape jacket, and he'd somehow make it look cool. He wore sunglasses inside rooms, and he'd somehow make it look cool. He somehow wore sunglasses inside for badminton training, and was still better than me. Bruh. He was our best badminton player, but I don't know how. I mean, he was only an ex-national player back when he was in Japan. Okay, yeah, this guy was really bloody good. Anyways, this guy literally didn't break a sweat in any tournament for anything badminton related when he moved to the country I studied in. It was really nice seeing this dude again, but his bag, holy crap, his bag and his bags. They had everything. He was studying hard for his entrance exams, and his tutor, for whatever reason, decided that he needed to bring everything, from his study material to even his damn entrance exam papers inside his bag. So his bag, when he was telling us how heavy it was, he wasn't even exaggerating. The bag actually weighed over 20 kilos just because of the study material and the damn laptop and the charging bank and so much more. But me personally, I'd like to thank him for helping my card game addiction. Because you see, I was there for a game so niche that they don't even sell this thing in Europe. You see, the reason I didn't spend a lot of money on fashion was because I was saving money for the most important thing I came to Japan for, the anime. You see, I'd gotten into a card game anime that I'm not sure many people even know about. It's called Cardfight Vanguard, and no, I'm not sponsored by them, but it is one of those card games that I ended up liking for no apparent reason. But basically, I'd gotten so into that I wanted to go to the card shop, buy some cards, and make myself a deck. So naturally, I dragged my poor friends along to this one remote shopping center, trying to find it to no avail. We couldn't find the store, and the name was in Japanese, so we had no idea what it looked like. Turns out, this card shop was on the 5th floor of this random building on the side of the road, which I had passed twice. And I would never have found if not for my Japanese friend. He was really nice and was helping us look for it. Only for him to look at the name on the Google Maps and look at the top of the sign, tap my shoulder and said, "Dude, I think it's up there." Bruh. So we went to the top and I bought a bunch of cards. Yay! I went there and spent loads of money on trading cards. Yay! I know, right? I'm totally not thinking about how I spend a huge amount of money on cards and thinking about how much it's going to slowly spiral and possibly hurt my future. Anyways, am I the only one that found this shop really hard to find? Anybody else? Alright, but other than the shopping for clothing and anime, we did a bunch of tourist attractions. Me and my friends were very outdoorsy people, but I didn't take any pictures, even though we were on vacation, like a crazy person according to my mom. But one of my friends did. If you recognize these photos, you know who I'm thanking. Thank you, here we go! Sorry I didn't take more pictures. I didn't even think of starting this channel until this year, and I went to Japan last year. But yeah, we did a lot during our trip, and it was a lot of fun, but it was very tiring. I remember I had one friend who was an absolute freak of nature. This guy had nearly limitless stamina. So one day, my other two friends just wanted to sit back at the apartment and chill because, they were tired from the constant moving around. My friend really wanted to climb the Red Temple, so I decided to join him. We decided to hell with it. Let's speed walk to the top. To the top as fast as we can. So yeah, we did that and tried to see all the sights. It took us about 40 minutes to reach the top of the mountain, and I'm not talking about the place with the nice sunset view. I'm talking about the very top, where the view is kinda bad, but it had a place that you can make some wishes. Unfortunately, neither of my wishes came true because I didn't grow to be 828 meters tall with an IQ of 9 million. So yeah, it was pretty fun. We took a bunch of pictures that I thought were pretty good. But on the way down, we actually ran into a fun interaction. You see, it had gotten dark out and the place wasn't open all night, So I think we were 3/5 of the way down and we ran into this father and child who were just starting out near the bottom. They were tourists just like us and they asked us if we knew how much further it was to the top. So of course, we nicely told them that, it took us 25 minutes to reach the top from where they are. And so they got quite hopeful. That was until we broke the news that we sped walk/ran most of it. And it also didn't help that the guy's wife and another kid was down there with his mom who definitely wasn't in the right condition to climb the mountain. But they really wanted to see the top though, so we just showed them some pictures and I think it made their day. I'm happy to say that I did my good deed for the day. So the next day we robbed the bank. Now on to the next part. Wait 1 second. Japanese history has been preserved extremely well, from the temple to the multitudes of field trips that I saw there. One that we were all extremely startled by though was called the Great Fire of Meiriki, which turned out to be caused by a cursed kimono, which is called a furry-sewed kimono, which had been owned by 3 girls that died before ever getting to wear it. But according to legend, a priest tried to burn the kimono inside the wooden temple, and when the garment was being burnt, apparently a large gust of wind caused the fire to spread towards the very wooden temple, which caused a great fire that spread around the whole city. Yeah, like I said, pretty interesting. But now, I'm gonna get to the part of the story that is super popular on YouTube. The food. The food there, it's so good. And not only that, it's so cheap. This is literally my home, my people. But it's also so secretive. Me and my friends went to some sushi place, but to get there, we had to climb like 5 sets of stairs to this random place that looked more like an apartment complex than an actual restaurant. But once you open it, you see this guy making sushi at the counter, and then we knew this has to be the place. The food was great, and even better, I think the total cost of like 20 sushi was $10, which is mad cheap considering how good it was. But this next part, I'm gonna say, because I'm also Asian, the Japanese food is gonna be good when the chef is bald. Listen, the less hair the chef has, the more they've stayed behind the counter for so long that the heat from the soup and all the other stuff and the stress has made them need to shave their head, or their hair was lost when they were stressing out too much. We also went to Ichiran Ramen, of course, and the food there, my goodness, it was so good. I literally ate like 4 bowls of noodles, much to the surprise and horror of my friends. It's really that good. There was only one type of soup, but I think that's all you need though, because it's so good. I bought some of the cup ramen here, and it is so good again. Not as good as the one over there though, not the original. But who says a fake can't surpass the original? Okay, I don't know if that joke actually landed for anyone. But anyways, we had some heated debates over our food of choice. And you see, I'm an avid fan and spokesperson that udon is just as good as ramen. I love udon and it is my favorite type of noodle. It's firm, it's tough, it's slurpable, it's chewy. Okay, I've got to stop with these adjectives. But other than that, I love the fact that the soup is so extremely rich and it covers it like a sauce. It just adds so much flavor to me. But my friends, of course, disagree, so I did what I had to do. Anyways, just tell me what you think in the comment section. What's your favorite food? And it better be udon. The final part I'm going to talk about is probably the funniest and scariest moment that me and my friends had in Japan, which was on one of our trips back to the apartment. Me and my friends are relatively tall, and I think I said this before, but I promise I'm not trying to make it sound like we're absolute giants. Because in this little situation that I'm about to get into, we were basically ants. We were taking the train home and, just talking about Honkai Star Rail, as you do. That was until we were near our apartment. And I think like 6 stops away, this guy boards the train. This dude is huge! Now, Japanese trains, or the ones that we had to take to the really shabby apartment that we went to, weren't exactly the biggest, Some people that are very tall are going to have trouble getting in. But this guy, I have never seen a man on such a different level. He wasn't just the normal type of tall. He was so tall, he was physically slouching and bending his back just to try to fit into the train. It also really didn't help with the way he was dressed. He was wearing a completely black outfit. I'm talking the long black trench coat. And in Japan of all places, he was wearing like really nice black pants. He was wearing really nice shiny shoes and black sunglasses to boot. Mind you, this is in the middle of the night. Who on earth wears sunglasses at night? Me and my friends stared at him and we whispered to each other, of course, that dude looks like a damn spy agent or something. Like, the dude was actually terrifying looking. Now, there was one rather large problem that we had with him coming into the train. You see, for whatever reason, he decided for some odd reason to stand at the door and not move. Me and my friends got worried because this dude wasn't just covering the entire door with his gigantic body. He was also staring at us. Which might have actually been harder because he was wearing sunglasses. But whether it was because he didn't care that nobody could get physically past him when they tried to board or tried to leave the train, but he felt like a gigantic wall that we couldn't scale. So naturally, we went to our tallest and buffest friend and we said, yo, dude, you're the closest to that dude's size. Why don't you ask him to move, please? Because we're getting off soon. Mind you, this is like 3 stops in and we realized that this dude might actually be on the train for a while. And I've never seen a dude go so pale. But we back forward with that for a bit, choosing anyone but ourselves to try to confront this guy. And then it finally happened. The guy got off at the exact same stop that we needed to go to. Uh-oh. So, all 4 of us, we get into tight formation, get into a circle. No one can possibly scare us. No one could possibly get out of our sights. Uh-oh. All right, men, defensive formation. All right, let's see you put up those muscles. Personally, I had fun in Japan. And throughout all the walking, the many train rides, because I forgot to mention that Tokyo was a 40-minute train ride from our apartment. But once again, $4 a night. If I ever get the chance again, and if my friends ever wanted to again, and decided, hey, let's do a group trip again, I'd love to have that chance again. It was fun, and 10 out of 10 would do again.